So, this is not going to be an easy topic to discuss, mainly because we have forces that exist that do not appreciate people like myself helping you. Yes, they are out there, believe it or not, and for decades they have been on the mission to take something away from us, our health and our minds. But they are not people you and I know. They hide behind curtains and seats of power. You know, as of January of this year, Congress has this 117th Congress has only enacted about 39 laws, which means they have a good 200 to 300 laws to enact by the end of next year. And you're like, what? More laws? For what? That's just what they do. Most people don't even know what laws they are enacting, and let alone what they have on the table. We should hold the Guinness World Record for the number of laws we have on the books. And see, what they do is clever. They create these bills that are literally thousands of pages long. Within those single bills are many laws. And see, what happens is the world around you, how things operate, change, sometimes without you even realizing it. The major issue with this today is, through this system, there has been a major decline in most people's mental and physical health. Everybody's got something. And I don't know if you know this, folks, but that is not natural. The main reason for this is food and drugs. Two key words there. And what this is doing, or should I say, what this has done, is it has weakened the resilience of many people, opening the doors for other things to thrive, things you may have never heard of. Their immune systems are weak, and now a new wave of plague begins. You know, you can walk into almost any grocery store today and find a vast number of food products. I mean, just an extraordinary variety, or at least there used to be. Can anyone tell the difference between some of these products shelved today? So I walked into this supermarket, a pretty well-known supermarket in the area. Beautiful displays and atmosphere. And after entering this market, I traveled over to the fish department, only to find that there were no fish. Now let me tell you what I mean. They had salmon there, but it was all farmed raised, meaning it was raised in tanks, probably genetically modified and fed antibiotics and only God knows what to make them grow faster and bigger. Not to mention they have to inject these fish with red dye because they are so weak and nutrient deficient swimming in a crowded, polluted tank all day. Their flesh is barely pink. Then they had tilapia, another farm-raised disaster, a bunch of clams and lobsters and crabs, catfish. Where was the healthy, wild-caught fish? Then I traveled on over to the bread aisle because I needed buns for burgers. Now, many stores have gotten better at this. They have their own bakeries built in. Everything else on the shelf is garbage. Everything. If that bread wasn't baked that morning, it's garbage, trash. Why do you think people are having gluten issues? The grain is most likely all GMO. There are sweeteners, fillers, and all types of processed substances in that bread to give it the shelf life it has. I've got news for you. It's not bread. To make bread, you need flour, water, and yeast. A little salt and a tiny bit of sugar for the yeast. That's it. And oh yeah, heat. That's what you need to make bread. not a bunch of ingredients that take you 3 minutes to read through. Today, organic food is, in most cases, not 100% organic. It should really say 100% organic, not just organic. Because according to the laws, it could be as much as 35% to 75% organic. And the reason we are subjected to eating this crap is because of these laws enacted by Congress and the regulations put forth by alphabet agencies like the FDA. It's systematic poisoning is what it is. But that's okay because the same companies that produce these low quality food products are in bed with the companies who make the drugs you will need after eating too much of their food. Both the food and the drugs will make you sick. The pharmaceuticals will definitely do more damage. And now we have a global disease problem. And with this comes two things: the slow breakdown of the immune system due to a certain injection, and if we are limiting contact with each other to prevent natural immunity from COVID, then we are limiting natural immunity to everything else with that logic. Which means we are also suppressing our immunity to other things. And boy, let me tell you, you do not want to lose immunity to some of those things. You know, you can't live on this planet unless you've caught something at a very young age. Insects bite you, then give you immunity to some of the things that are in the environment you live in naturally. This is the whole idea about inoculations before entering another country, right? Because you have to develop some type of immunity to live in that environment. If you go and live with a tribe in the Amazon, you're going to have to catch whatever they've got if you want to live in their environment. Not just because the people have some virus or disease. Those diseases exist in the forest, in the animals, in the water. And vice versa. Those tribes of people would have to catch whatever we've got if they want to live in this environment. So here we go. ABC News, local news. Scabies outbreak reported at Amelia County Elementary School. For those of you who don't know what scabies is, it is sarcoptic mange, an infestation of the human itch mite, a parasite. They are about 0.2 to 0.45 millimeters in length. So you should be able to see them occasionally with a magnifying glass, but you would need a microscope to really identify it clearly. And these mites burrow under the skin to lay eggs. And they do this rather quickly, and they are highly contagious. Not only that, once you have them, they are pretty difficult to get rid of. That's why it's called the 7-year itch, because sometimes it takes that long to be free of them. Amelia County Public Schools announced there have been several confirmed cases of scabies reported at Amelia County Elementary School. The school district said they are working closely with the Piedmont Health District to contain the outbreak. They added school staff and nurses have been alerted to watch for signs of scabies, and teachers were told to sanitize classroom items and send students home with their fabric items to be washed. In addition, they have done a deep clean of school buses and classrooms, starting with the one the original case was confirmed in. And there is not much left to this article. The point is, these scabies outbreaks have been happening ever since the beginning of last year. And this is a report from, I believe, about 3 weeks ago. And it's just the beginning. Because of this mass suppression of our immune system, we are probably going to see people get infected with things we didn't know existed. It's going to be the 10 plagues of Egypt worldwide. Oh, by the way, speaking of Egypt, people showed symptoms of scabies in ancient times, meaning this was a problem back in ancient Egypt. You know what's interesting? There's a drug called ivermectin. Some people claim to have used it to treat COVID. Why is it that the same drug is used to treat scabies? And the Egyptians did have remedies for this, for skin problems and scabies. Turmeric lotion, aloe vera, caper bush, portulaca, lupines, truffa, pomegranate peel tea, and castor seed oil. The point is the food. Oh, and I forgot to mention, that GMO food, if you think it's only meant to genetically modify the food, think again. The food, the drugs, not to mention the radiation in the form of EMFs and everything else, your body's natural defenses are suppressed. So what this means is that we are going to be entertaining some pretty freaky things from this point on. You're going to need to do everything you can do to boost your immune systems if you want to get through what's coming. Ectoparasites like lice, ticks, fleas, mites. The problem with these parasites is that they often carry other microscopic parasites that are harder to detect. And so these things tend to lead to other infections. With all the rain and flooding on the east side, I'm sure many of you have started to see all types of insects work their way into your life. Probably some that you have never seen before. Some of those exotic-looking bugs carry parasites and other things that can infect you. And trust me, your body is designed to handle a good majority of these issues, but not if your immune system is suppressed. Here's something that was put up not too long ago. Flesh-eating parasites may be expanding their range as climate heats up. Do you see? The article gets into how this woman was bitten by sandflies. Later, her bites had turned into small open wounds. Over the next couple of weeks, they got worse. She discovered that it was a flesh-eating disease known as cutaneous leishmaniasis, a skin disease caused by more than 20 different species of leishmania parasites. They cause crater-like ulcers coated with a thick yellowish pus. Yuck. This normally occurs in tropical and subtropical climates in places such as Brazil and India, but these parasites may be coming to a town near you. Now endemic in Texas and Oklahoma, the parasites may be moving north. Americans, it turns out, can be exposed to leishmania parasites without leaving the country. The parasites are currently endemic in Texas and Oklahoma, and new studies suggest they might be present in other states, including Florida. While reported cases of leishmaniasis contracted in the U.S. are currently negligible, they may soon be on the rise, as climate change pushes rodent and sandfly habitat northward. Scientists caution that in the future, an increasing number of U.S. residents could be exposed to different varieties of the flesh-eating parasite. Time to up our knowledge on parasites and antiparasitics, because believe me, this is going to become a growing issue amongst other things. Anyway, enough of that. There is more to come, and as you can see, a lot more to discuss very soon. Until next time, be sure to visit woodwardentertainment.com and the Woodward Entertainment store. Check to see if there have been any outbreaks or parasitical beings in your area. And as always, friends, stay awake, stay aware, stay safe, and I'll talk to you all soon.